I'm Stan Ellsworth. You might have heard me talking about history on American Ride. But today, I want to talk about the United States Constitution, how it came to be, why it came to be, and what makes the United States Constitution a revolutionary document even today. So throttle up, baby. Let's hear the story. One of the most important changes to the federal government that came out of the Constitutional Convention was the second article of the Constitution, the creation of the office of President. We just created a very strong chief executive, and the only reason we were willing to risk giving that kind of power and authority to a single individual was because everyone at the Constitutional Convention was pretty sure we knew who we were going to elect as the first president. It was the man we'd elected to preside over the convention, Virginia's own George Washington. The man had led us through the dark days of the Revolutionary War. Everyone believed in him. He'd given back the authority of his generalship, and without a second thought, gone back to farming in Virginia. He was our man. The question on ratification in Virginia was touch and go, and it was Washington's own opinion that swayed the vote. Virginia did ratify the Constitution, and George Washington was elected the first president of the United States, the only president unanimously elected. Now, we've already discussed the several important precedents that Washington established during his administration, but two of them bear repeating. Number one, Washington never wanted a noble-sounding title attached to the office of presidency. He thought that the simple appellation, Mr. President, was sufficient. It clearly demonstrated that the office was an office of the people. And the second was the establishment of the cabinet, a group of secretaries that would aid the president in his responsibilities and in the use of the tremendous powers that the Constitution had granted him. Washington chose 5 good men to be his cabinet. The government's gotten bigger and life's gotten more complex. And today, there are 22 secretaries in our presidential cabinet. So what are the powers of the presidency? Well, like the name implies, the president presides. If you're looking for the guy that's responsible for the whole shooting match, it's the President of the United States. His name's on the shingle. If you want to complain, give him a call. Second, the President is the #1 law enforcement agent in the entire nation. Every federal law enforcement agency ultimately reports to the President of the United States. The FBI, the Treasury Department, Homeland Security, all report to the office of the President. He has treaty power. He's the nation's #1 diplomat as well. And all things diplomatic report to the office of the President. He has veto power over the Congress, and he is the civilian control over the military. The President of the United States is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. The President has the authority to appoint federal judges to the bench and name secretaries to his cabinet. He has the power to sign executive orders, and the President can recommend legislation to the Congress. In the Constitution, the language is something like, the President from time to time is going to check in with the Congress and let them know what's up. What we've turned that into is annually, the President gives the State of the Union address, and it's there that the President will announce and promote his agenda of legislation. The most important thing that anyone who aspires to the office of presidency can remember is that when you're in that position, you stand in the shadow of George Washington. And the President of the United States reports directly to the people. Join us next time for Article 3, the Federal Judge.
Subscribe now. It's history with attitude and the American story with an edge.